What's up guys, Riku137 here, and we're going to continue with Kerbal Space Program today. I have with me special guest.
Back in Black 120.
You guys remember him from our HVZ streaming videos?
Straight up.
I pulled him in because he's kind of getting started with this. So today we decided we're going to, instead of launching more rockets, we are going to build and fly a space plane. At the end of last episode, I hadn't circularized the orbit of this ship, so off camera I went and I got it as close to possible as I could. It's pretty good, but it's almost perfect. So without further ado, we are going into the spaceplane hangar. Feel free to say anything you want, and just no cursing.
No problem.
Alright, so we're starting with the Mark 1 fuselage. I think it looks the coolest out of the Mark 1 or out of the Mark 1, 2, or 3 cockpits. And it's also, everything just goes nicely and snaps into place behind it. I'm basically now adding the Mark 1 fuselage jet fuel, as you can see. Without this, you go nowhere.
That's a lot of fuel.
You need a lot of fuel for what I plan on doing. Hopefully with this one, I'm going to try to possibly go around the world. So actually what I want to do is I want to take that off. I want to put one of these on. I'm going to test to see how well this ends up. Turn my symmetry on, grab this, and it should, aha, work perfectly. It's going to be a ton of fuel. Sometimes you gotta get sideways on it. And then they just snap together. Alright, I think that's enough fuel. So now we want the turbojet engines, because these are for high atmosphere, whereas if you saw these up here, these are basic jet engine. These aren't really for in low atmosphere. Those are really low atmosphere, whereas these are for major high up. So now we need some sort of wing. I like the swept wing on the front. It just adds, if I can get it straight. Only downside is to get this stuff straight on. A swept wing in the front and a delta in the back. It adds, if I go here, center of lift or center of mass, they're basically right on top of each other, which is how you want them to sit. You can say they're right about on top of each other.
I'd say so.
And then our center of thrust is back here, which it should be, because that's where the engines are.
If there's not, there's probably a problem in there.
Yeah. So now we need tail fins. We're going to go straight vertical tail fins. And now we are going to run struts along the ridge, along the backbone of our jet, making sure that these tanks don't wobble themselves to pieces and fall apart while we're trying to fly. That would be kind of embarrassing. And then we're going to take one from the wing tip and hopefully run it to this wing tip on both sides. So now we have basic wings. Now we need control surfaces. So we grab the standard control surface and Pop these on the back here. Flip them around. Snap those into place. See if that changed our center of lift. Too much. Center of lift, center of mass, still relatively right on top of each other. Now we need to figure out air intakes. So I use this cone-looking shape thing and rotate it. Come on.
You can do it.
Sometimes these things just act up. Turn the grid snap off. Oh, dirt.
Come on.
Okay.
Alright.
Hopefully,
There we go.
now I can add the tri-star couplers to the front. And
intake system.
Yup. So now we add our ram air intakes. These pump air, these pull in air from the atmosphere and shove it into the jet.
Somehow.
Yeah. Then we go back to our structural stuff, take our struts, and we run struts to here. Then we have some basic air intakes. Now, last thing we're missing is landing gear.
Would probably be a good idea.
Yes, landing gear would be a good idea. So we're just gonna smash on 2 landing gear in the back. And then we're gonna spin around to the front.
Pop one on there.
Then smash 2 on the front as well, because we're working in 2s. Okay. And we're gonna call this... What do you want to call it?
That's a good question.
Call it Valkyrie.
Alright.
Because then, if I wasn't concerned about copyright music and everything, I could play Flight of the Valkyrie while I'm taking this thing off. So now we're going to launch this, and hopefully, keyword there is hopefully,
It'll go up in one piece.
it'll go up in one piece and not wiggle itself in pieces on the runway. So we hit our... Start going straight down the runway. Enbus, I hope you're a good pilot. Oh, baby. Picking up speed, she seems relatively stable so far.
So far.
Again, we're at full throttle. Edge of the runway.
Come on. Come on.
Come on, Enbus, pull up.
There we go.
Oh, she seems really front heavy.
So much for that center of mass.
Yeah, she's really front heavy. Pull up our gear. Yeah, she's really front heavy. Keep an eye on my air intake.
You might want to keep an eye on where you're going, too.
I'm going up. I'm going up to high atmosphere.
Okay.
The higher up you take these things into the atmosphere with the ram scoops, the better they perform.
Okay.
There's a mix between ideal air and how fast your flight will be. There is an ideal position. It's up to where you actually start losing perfect air intake, because then you're up in the atmosphere high, so then there's less air resistance. That's another thing you have to keep worrying about is air resistance. The lower you are, the more air resistance you have. The higher up you push your flight, the better. We are just going to push this thing up. And you can see Enbas is kind of freaking out. He's a wuss, if you ask me. Man, if I was flying this thing, I'd be having a ball. He's not even pulling all that many G's, so I don't know why he's flipping out. It does seem relatively stable now. Try a barrel roll.
Oh, barrel roll.
Pretty good. I'm not going to try any backflips or anything like that because, as you can see, she's really hard at turning.
That's what he said.
Now we're going to just dive a little bit, and then we're going to pull straight back. Come on, N-Best, pull back on that yoke. Pull back, N-Best, you're going to smash. You're falling, N-Best, you're falling. Okay, let's see if we can circle around and land on the...
Hold on. One more thing.
Barrel roll.
Hopefully with N-Best as our pilot, and if he doesn't get himself
Killed here.
we're going to try to fly back
I don't think that's happening, man.
to the run. Nope.
He's in a suicide mission.
Yeah. Sorry, N-Best. Your sacrifice is for the betterment of society.
I don't think he wants to go this soon.
For the betterment of Kerbal kind.
He's done.
Oh, maybe not. I think I got him.
Oh, you stabilized him.
I think I stabilized him. Now if I can just remember where the runway is.
Oh, because that sounds like a good thing to say.
Oh, well, sorry about this, N-Best, but I think it's time
To,
Barrel roll.
Okay, you and your barrel rolls.
into the ocean.
Yes, we're just going to barrel roll him full speed, going at 180 some kilometers per second, straight down,
Meters per second, dude.
whatever it is, into the ocean.
Sorry, Embus. You're done.
And he's gone.
Sploosh.
And so, after flying that one, I think I can determine from that is that our plane is just a little too heavy.
Just in the front.
It's a little front heavy, so before we call it for this episode, I think I'm going to add some control surfaces on the front. You can never have enough control surfaces. Ever. So with that, we'll try this thing again next episode and see if she does any better. Alright guys, as usual, we'll see you on the flip side.
Later.